something down the middle, and that's what we have to do in the real world.
I believe I don't think anybody would be tougher on crime than I would be as mayor. At the same point, when communities feel that they're singled out, when the numbers reflect that something is being done to an excess, that it's being overused, then the mayor needs to step in, pay attention, and ask that that be changed and that a fairer policy be put in place. Right now, as we look at stop and frisk about to go over 600,000 this year, I don't think anybody would say that it hasn't been overused. If you talk to police officers privately, they will tell you that they're being forced to stop and make many stop and frisk, and they think it's being overused.
Okay, thank you very much. And so now we turn from Adam to Juan Manuel Benitez for the next question.
Thank you, Dominic. Mr. Mayor, you have banned smoking in public places, and you're talking about maybe extending that measure to parks. You've banned trans fats and imposed calorie count menus. Is it a role of government to regulate behavior? And if you're reelected, what's coming?
Well, it's the role of government to try to improve the length and the quality of people's lives, or at least give them the information that they need to make intelligent decisions. We have had the City Council pass a law, had to fight it through the courts, but won, so that chain restaurants have to put up calorie counts. Nobody makes you not buy the Big Mac, which I hope Bill and I are both right, at less than 600 calories. But at least people have that information. We're trying to teach kids in school about good nutrition. The fact of the matter is, a third of our children are bordering on obesity, and if they are obese, they are very likely to be obese as an adult, and it shortens your lives. Smoking has cut 10,000 deaths a year out of the city's death rate. The bottom line is, today in New York City, our life expectancy is greater than in the country as a whole for the first time since World War II. And in the last 8 years, life expectancy has increased by 15 months, 50% more than virtually any other big city in this country. It is the job of government, if something is detrimental to your health, to A, warn you, and B, if it's serious, try to prevent it. If there was asbestos in your school, we'd pull the kids out. If there was something in the workplace that made it unsafe, we'd right away stop your factory until we fixed it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Comptroller, any of those measures that you wouldn't have done, and do you think it's a role of government to regulate behavior?
Well, what I'd like to see when we talk about health, and I don't think anybody's going to say that they wouldn't do this, have done the smoking ban. I think that when you look at health issues in New York City, one of the things that I've tried to focus on, one of the things that I think is important, health disparities among communities. The community that we're in right now, tonight, has a higher level of asthma and a number of other diseases, higher levels of cancer, higher level of diabetes. I think it's important that New York, and I've advocated starting this in our schools, having our children looked at, not just for hearing and vision, but for other health issues to make sure that they can be healthier, to make sure that we start to focus on those issues early, and that across the city of New York, we create greater access to preventative care for so many so they can live longer, and we can also make sure that each...
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. One thing.
Yes.
Congestion pricing was designed as much as anything to clean the air, because Bill's right. Kids have, in many neighborhoods in this city, an asthma rate 4 times higher than the average. We've worked very hard to try to get bodegas to carry fresh foods and 2% milk and diet drinks. In fact, we got a great gift from Lori Tisch to have carts on the streets to try to make sure that at least the good stuff is available. So education, making it available, and in some cases, yes, it is the job of government to prevent.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, we are down to 30 seconds before we go to the closing statements. So I don't think we can get, can you abbreviate your question quickly?
I'll make it really quick. This is on the mayor's homeless policies. He had promised in 2004 to reduce by 2/3. The number is higher than ever, more than 10,000 families. But what would you, Mr. Thompson, do specifically? What would you do differently than the mayor, and how can you do that given the state of the economy?
Well, the mayor had promised to bring homelessness down by 2/3 in his tenure. And in fact, what we saw today was a record number of homeless families and individuals in the city of New York. You need to focus on preventing homelessness. We need to reopen some Section 8 vouchers to create priorities for those to be able to go into the housing authority. We need to be able to build more affordable housing so homeless families don't wind up, so homeless families have a place to go. There's so many things that we need to do in that area.
Mr. Mayor.
The fact of the matter is the federal government's cut back the number of Section 8 vouchers. We created our own called Work Advantage. The Work Advantage vouchers, where you have to work in order to get them, has been the most successful thing we've done. We placed 175,000 people in permanent housing. Bill's right. You have to prevent, but remember that what happened when you fell through the safety net, and particularly when the economy is down, where a lot of people are coming in. Today, nobody sleeps on benches. Today, we don't bus kids around in the middle of the night. Today, we don't have those disgraceful things where people had to come in and be treated like cattle. We've made the system better. We've worked on prevention, and we've moved record numbers of people out into permanent housing. There's not a lot we can do short-term about the recession, but we can make sure if they have a family, for example, someplace where the families, we can reunite the families and the families can take care of them, that we help them do that.
And we have a record number of homeless individuals, and the city's policies have helped to create more homeless individuals each and every day.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, it has certainly been a lively hour. Before we go to the closing statements, I just want to know one thing. Is it possible, is there something that each of you could say nice about the other? Sure. Go ahead, Mr. Mayor.
He's a great golfer, and we've done a lot of things together, and we've had some good times together. I just think that he's not the right person to lead this city for the next 4 years, and that I am, plain and simple.
I think the mayor is well-dressed, and his golf game has shown great improvement. At the same point, after 8 years, 8 is enough, and it's time for him to go.
No, wait. Eight isn't enough for better schools. 8 isn't enough for lower crime. 8 isn't enough for good government in this city. Quite the contrary. 8 is not enough for every one of the good things that's happened, and I think that's what the public is going to decide on November 3rd.
And 8 is enough. 8 is enough when you violate the will of the people and overturn term limits.
Okay. All right. Enough, gentlemen. It is now time that we move on to the closing remarks by the candidates. You each have 60 seconds, and we begin with Mayor Bloomberg.